Hello, everyone. I believe we are live. Welcome to this emergency broadcast here. We have a PDS tornado currently in the, let's see, this is East Central Kansas. We are currently looking off the Topeka radar here as we have probably the most impressive tornado signature we have seen all year up to this point. This thing has been cranking here. The structure has been absolutely I won't say monumental, but it's definitely been something to behold as it has developed over the last few minutes. And it is now very, very close to the radar site. We're getting extremely high definition imagery as this thing is continuing to advance, as it has passed right by Alta Vista to the southeast and is currently moving to the northeast at a relatively slow pace, thankfully, which is helping to keep this thing at bay from being any more dangerous. But this storm definitely is no joke. It looks like they might have already downgraded it from PDS, thankfully, but that is not to say that this thing could not continue to produce some extensive damage. It is currently over open fields. It's not really doing much, but it has definitely had a very gnarly look to it, especially on this radar frame here. You can see this. You can see these heavy reflectivity bands wrap almost a full 360 degrees, and it's even got a bit of a debris signature there on CC and on reflectivity. Differential reflectivity has a bit of a hole there, and even on velocity, you can start to see the inner core of the tornado there. You know, where the winds go stronger around the outside, and then aren't really going as strong on the inside, but that's just because tangential velocity isn't as high. So overall, this thing is absolutely a beast to look at on radar, and I'm going to stay with you guys for as long as I can here, up until I am going to either hand it over or when this tornado decides to dissipate and the supercell looks like it is collapsing. So, hello Raymond, how are you doing? Yes, so let's see. Have they updated this? Okay, they're still saying it's a confirmed tornado. I'm not seeing any hints that it is still PDS. Oh, never. It is still PDS. Yes. As of 2 minutes ago, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Volland, moving north at 20 miles per hour. Again, this is an observed tornado. It's not just radar confirmed. It is an. Oh, wait. Is it not picking up my audio? No, it is picking up my audio. Okay. Uh, you had me scared there, Raymond. But yes, this is absolutely a very serious situation. This is a particularly dangerous situation. It looks like, let's see if we can trace the tornado's path here. So we have it here near Alta Vista. We have it here, continuing to shoot northeast. So I would say if you are in this cone here, I would be very worried. Potentially even out here to the west of those lines. So if you are here, I would be in your shelter immediately. If you know anybody in this area, please tell them to get to shelter, as this storm is no joke. You can see even the reflectivity hook is still absolutely amazing here. A full wraparound. That's a very stark B-word. That is just incredible looking. It's just amazing. For 2024, this is definitely the most impressive tornado as it looks. Just go ahead and get into a Discord call there. There we go. So that way some of the other team members can join should they choose. But for right now, we are just monitoring this situation as this tornado continues on its trek to in the general direction of Alma and I-70. So currently it looks like it is going to pass, I'm not sure what route this is, but it connects Alta Vista to Alma. So if you are anywhere along that route, if you are anywhere to the northeast, it is basically over top that highway, and it is absolutely going, it's going. And, oh, excuse me, it's been a hot minute since I've had to cover a tornado outbreak. Even though this is really only a singular tornado, but this one, it definitely warrants us going live here on Advective Weather. Yeah, I'm going to be making sure that this thing does not go anywhere near Alma. If it does, then absolutely we're going to need to stay in the air for a lot longer. So, let's see. It is also located near Volland. Unfortunately, it does not pop up on my radar scope here. But Volland is somewhere in this vicinity. Volland, if you are in Volland, this storm is right on your doorstep. May have just passed. I'm not entirely sure where it is on the map. But regardless, if you are anywhere near here, if you know anybody in the area, whether it be Volland, Alma, McFarland, along I-70, you need to make sure that they're in shelter now. So they're saying it's actually no longer on the ground. They're saying it's only radar indicated, but it is producing 2-inch hail. So that is no bueno. Large hail is also very destructive, just in a different way. Instead of the storm picking up the debris from the ground, in the case of a tornado, it's going to be dropping ice out of the sky and pelting things on the ground with hail. So both are definitely not great, if I were to say so myself. 2 inches is definitely that significant hailstone range, and significant hail is that is over 1 3/4 inches in diameter. 1 3/4 inches in diameter is enough to cause bodily harm to any pets or people that are caught outside. It is absolutely imperative that you are indoors if you're anywhere in this area. It is worth noting that there are some other storms going on. There are some here. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a bit more of the bigger picture. So we do have this enhanced risk. This was a hail-driven enhanced with 30. It was a 30% hatched. So this is pretty well forecast, I would say. The tornado is in a 5% tornado risk, I believe, which is also very well forecast. We do have some storms out to the west, kind of out in more central Kansas. Those are all hailers. We have all these warnings here that's related to the main cluster here, that is including our PDS tornado, or formerly PDS tornado at this point. We then have another cluster here, kind of around Kansas City, and we have another out in, I believe this is Missouri. Yes, out in Missouri, even getting out into Illinois. But obviously, currently the most dangerous storm on the map is the one that is near Volton and on its way to Alma. So please make sure you know how to get to shelter and where to go to shelter should you need to. Yeah, this storm absolutely is incredible. That is an incredible vortex hole. Just look at that. It is perfect. You'll see the velocity catch up here on the top right. You'll see that catch up momentarily. In fact, I'm actually going to go to dual pane so you can see. So, oh, there it is. Okay. So there we go. So you see here we have this wrap around, and you can see that it's very well centered right on that couplet. So absolutely this thing is capable of popping another tornado whenever it so chooses. It's just a matter of when will it. Alma, it is currently heading in your general direction. It's kind of following this route here. Let me actually get a map here so I can see exactly which route this is. This is Old K10 Road. If you are anywhere along Old K10 Road, that you are basically in the path of this tornado. If you are, let's see here. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of a rough estimate here. So Volland, you are basically right underneath this thing right now. So if you are in Volland, you are at a time you either have been impacted or are just about to be. It is currently heading toward the fixed cemetery, and it is moving kind of right along this route here. I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but this route is where the tornado seems to be following, and if it continues to follow Old K10 Road, it will end up in Alma. So if you are in Alma, Kansas, please make sure you are going to your tornado safe place now. That is the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in the most interior room if that is not possible. That can be a bathroom, a bedroom, or anything of the like. Just make sure that it is a safe place. Okay, some good news here though. It looks like the structure is getting a little more disheveled. We're getting a bit of an outflow boundary here, so that is going to help to undercut the tornado. It's going to help to kind of force it to lift, if you want to call it that. So it's going to take some time. I think, especially if this tornado is as strong as it looks like it was. It's going to take it a second to fully lift off the ground, but once it does, it should be relatively safe at least. But that's not to say that you shouldn't leave your safe place if you are within any of these warnings. Even if you're in any of these severe thunderstorm warnings, these much wider area. I would even say this one out west. If you're in any of these warnings, you need to be in shelter. Just because these storms are capable of producing some pretty large hail, and hail is also able to injure you very severely if you are caught off guard. So please make sure that you're taking shelter if you are anywhere in this area. Yes, Raymond, I would agree with you that it does look like a B word a little bit about a weak echo region. So basically, this now I'm not a meteorologist, so take my words here with a bit of a grain of salt. This may not be reflective of what it actually is, but this is just how I understand it. So please, if you are studying meteorology or if you are a meteorologist, do correct me if I am wrong here. But this bounded weak echo region is basically this circulation actually centrifuging out the all the particulate in the air, whether it be raindrops, hail, debris. It's basically centrifuging it out away from the center. Kind of like how if you're swirling anything in like a cup, the sides raise up over time. That's basically what this is doing. It's spinning so fast it's actually able to force things out of the center, forming that donut hole. So that just lends a little more credence to the fact that this thing is spinning like a top. And if it chooses to drop another tornado, it will most likely it could probably also be strong. It's just a matter of whether or not it will be able to overcome this outflow boundary that it has popped. So we will see. So you can actually see it kind of develop here. So let's see, there's a little bit of an outflow boundary here on the reflectivity, kind of materializes there, and now it is all the way in. My only concern here, however, is if this is actually an RFD surge. And if that is the case, then it could do one of two things. It can either intensify any tornado in there by basically giving in extra boost, or it could actually just completely undercut the tornado, causing it to get forced off the ground. That's what I'm hoping it is, but we'll have to wait and see on just what happens. You can still see that vortex hole here, so it's still spinning like crazy. So this thing is definitely no joke. It does look like it is going more to the northeast than northeast, but still, Alma, you need to be in your safe place now. Same with anybody in McFarland, anybody, I would say kind of in this area here, potentially even as far out as here. I would say if you're anywhere in here, you need to be in your safe place now. You are not to be outside at any point. And until this tornado warning expires, which is set to expire at, let's see, where is it? Where is it? It's been a while since I've had to read one of these, so do bear with me here, chat. Until 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight. So this is in effect for another 15 minutes. I am very confident they're going to continue this tornado warning unless this couplet completely shrivels up. It's really uncertain at this point, but I would still treat this as if it is a tornado on the ground, as this storm means business. I'm just happy that I was able to get myself up live as quickly as I could. So, that's always a very good thing. So, if you enjoy what we do here, if you enjoy listening to myself, Kay, Thomas, or any of the other members of the Advective Weather team, do especially as we cover these emergency events, do make sure to let us know. You can type in our chat. I pride myself in my own personal streams as well. I pride myself in interacting with the chat. So if you want to ask anything, if you want to see what's going on, if you want to get some more insight, do feel free to put it in the chat. Let us know. I'll be sure to answer at least as best as I can. And obviously share the stream around. Let everybody know that we are live. We are covering this storm as it is progressing. It does look like it is steadily weakening though. The couplets. Well, okay. I need to take that with a grain of salt though, because it is getting close to the radar. Let's go up and tilt. Let's see what it looks like on higher tilts. Okay, so it does look vertically stacked, which is definitely concerning. You can see that vortex hole present on all tilts of the radar. So basically what I mean by tilt is basically how high up the radar is scanning in the storm. So the fact that it's scanning at all levels of the atmosphere, and it's still able to pick out this radar, this vortex hole, tells me just how crazy this storm is rotating. I mean, this is only scanning at 400 feet above the ground, and it's detecting a vortex hole. So this thing absolutely could be pretty gnarly if we get things going again. Yes, at this point, we are just waiting on a new radar frame to analyze, see what the storm is doing, make sure that it is not recycling, as it may be. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see here. This thing is pretty intense. We're just gonna have to wait and see what this next radar frame says. Hopefully, it doesn't say much. Ooh boy. Okay, that's 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah, image from 20 minutes ago. This thing was a wedge. I don't think I'm really allowed to show that on stream, just because I don't know if that's an original photo. I don't want to. I want to make sure that it's allowed for use, and I don't believe it is, so I'm not going to show it on stream. But do bear in mind, around this time, this thing was a wedge. This was an absolute wedge, and I just saw an image come up through Twitter feed, and it was pretty big. So yeah, this thing is absolutely, or at least it was capable of producing some probably significant damage. Thankfully, it kind of rode over a kind of small country highway. We're just gonna have to hope that that trend continues and that it stays away from any other major areas such as Alma. It does look like it is kind of curving north, so hopefully that occlusion finishes up. It wraps around here, probably dies out somewhere in this area is where I'm going to guess. If the occlusion fails, then it might take a detour back on the right, and that would put Alma back onto the gun. So, but for right now, I would say probably Alma, stay in your safe place. Absolutely stay in your safe place if you're in Alma. But I would say at this point, the threat does seem to be lowering slightly. Slightly. It's just a matter of whether or not this thing can get its act back together and take that right turn. If it continues on this left turn, then we are good to go. Let me just check on some of the other storms. It looks like we might have a couple of developing here back in west central Kansas. Let me just check on that right quick. Yeah, it doesn't look like it has an upper level mouse cyclone. It's not scanning low enough in the atmosphere to really tell. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to analyze that one too well. Considerable severe thunderstorm, 1-inch hail on that one. Tennis ball sized hail. So okay, so this storm here, our tornado producer, or at least no, sorry, not our tornado. This here is the supercell that produced our tornado. This here is a different storm altogether. It's got its own mesocyclone, and this one up here is producing 2.5-inch hail. 2.5-inch hail is huge. That is something that if it hits you, you are going to the hospital. There's no doubt about it. You're going to the hospital if you get hit by this. So please stay inside. If you're anywhere near here, just stay inside. It's not worth being outside to try to catch these things in the act. Just stay inside. Get to a safe place, interior room, far away from windows. Cover your head with something soft, or if you have something like this, maybe a baseball helmet, just to protect your head a little more. After that, just hunker down and stay down until this tornado warning is allowed to expire, or until this tornado producing storm looks like it's finally weakening. Which unfortunately it does not look like it is. It might be, but reflectivity is showing the donut hole getting a little stronger. Let's see, velocity and reflectivity update at the same time. The velocity signature definitely looks like it's weakening, which is good. So we're just gonna have to wait and see exactly what trend this thing has. I do not believe it's PDS anymore. Correct. It is. Yeah, we're getting softball-sized hail now near Alma. So yeah, this thing is dropping monster hail, and it is capable of producing a fairly significant tornado if it gets its act back together. So yeah, if you are anywhere in this area, you need to make sure that you are in your tornado safe place. I have mentioned what it is before, but there is a chance that you might not be out, or you might not be near a stable shelter, especially out in these parts. It looks like this is mostly farmland, so chances are it's going to be very little in terms of sturdy shelter. So if that's the case, then you're going to need to make sure that A, wherever you go is not a mobile home, and B, if you are in a car, that you do not stay in your car. It's better to lie down in a ditch on your stomach, hands over your head, than to stay in a car in a mobile home. The reason is the same for both. If you're in a car or in a mobile home and a tornado comes near you, it will pick you up and toss you. Whereas if you are in a ditch, the winds kind of have the ability to kind of go over you. At least that's how I understand it. And it doesn't have as much. It doesn't have as much serious threat. It's still a very dangerous situation to be caught out in the middle of a tornado. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely safer to be out in a ditch than it is to be in your car in this. Is it now PDS severe thunderstorm? Oh, we got a new tornado warning actually out ahead. Baseball size hail. Yep, that is. Yep, that is the equivalent of an SVRD. That is a destructive severe thunderstorm out ahead of our tornado producer. So, okay. That is fun. So, we have this couplet here weakening steadily as it's kind of getting occluded, and it's kind of curving up north away from Alma. We now have this couplet here near Maple Hill as it is moving toward Rossville and Grove. This severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado located near Maple Hill, moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. It is producing baseball-sized hail. So make sure that you are absolutely in a safe place. This front storm here is capable of multiple severe hazards. So it is not worth being outside. It's not worth going outside to try to see this thing as it's forming. Okay. So good news for our previously PDS tornado. Its couplet is almost gone. So it looks like that tornado is kaput. I don't think it's going to be coming back. I think the outflow boundary kind of killed it. So that's good. We don't have to worry about that one for the near future. What we do need to worry about is this one here near Maple Hill and Rossville. That could become an issue if it decides to if it gets its act together. So very much need to be keeping an eye on that, as that could potentially wrap itself up at any time. Just scrolling through, I'm just trying to see if I can get some other information here. Let me see here. I'm going to try to get a higher up view into the storm. So, okay, it does look like there might be something trying to happen over the radar here in Alma. It's just that it's over top of radar sight, so we can't really see what's going on up close. So yeah, maybe we might be able to see this might be something trying to go, but again, that's so close to the radar, you cannot take that seriously. But we're just gonna need to make sure that does not progress any further. Hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, so if you're in the towns of Rossville, Grove, Delia, St. Mary's, even Willard, I would say, y'all need to be in your safe place now. So if you are kind of south of this line, southeast of St. Mary, southeast of Delia, your main threat is the tornado. If you are north of that line, if you are in St. Mary's or Delia, the hail is your biggest threat right now. That is baseball-sized hail falling out of the sky. That's going to be falling very fast, and if that hits you, you are going to be seriously injured. So definitely make sure that you are nowhere outside at this point. Let me see here. Seeing some reports that there's a very extreme hail event going on here. Where is it? Yep. Okay, we have an SVRD in Kansas City. This storm here is producing 3-inch hail. So 3-inch hail. This is a destructive storm. I do believe it's almost getting to apple size, I believe. So yeah, this is observed hail. This thing is actually producing 3-inch hail on top of Kansas City. So yeah, that's nothing to lift your nose at. That is absolutely something that we need to keep an eye on as well. I hope I'm not too late to that. No, it was okay. It was issued 7 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm a little late, but so I mean we've had a couple tornado warning storms that we needed to keep an eye on. So hopefully you can forgive me for that. But yes, so do bear that in mind. There is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Yep, 824 severe thunderstorm. We're looking at near Northmer or over Gladstone, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour, producing 3-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. This is a destructive severe thunderstorm. This is the equivalent of this is basically the equivalent of a PDS severe thunderstorm warning, if I remember correctly. I believe I need to double check that. Hang on. Destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see here. No, destructive is basically the equivalent of it's basically a tornado of a Tory for a severe thunderstorm. So yeah, basically this is if this is a destructive storm, that is basically the Weather Service saying, hey, this storm is we're believing it to be among the most dangerous severe thunderstorms that generally exist. 3-inch hail is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. It is very dangerous to be caught anywhere outside. So, if you have any sort of vehicle outside, chances are you're gonna, after this, you're gonna find that thing pitted with a bunch of hailstones, just cratering your car. It's not an if, it's a when. So if you're anywhere in Kansas City or anywhere near Kansas City to the north, y'all are going to be having some property damage here. This is a destructive storm for a reason. Back over to the west, we do still have this other one as well. Excuse me. So we have our forward tornado warned storm. This is also, if it weren't tornado warned, it would also be a SVRD, a destructive severe thunderstorm, which basically means, again, that it is basically a severe thunderstorm that has achieved a level of danger higher than a considerable severe thunderstorm. So it is basically the tornado emergency of severe thunderstorms. So definitely make sure that you are not messing around with a storm, especially since it does still have the potential to produce a tornado. And that couplet looks to be developing slowly but surely as it is passing to the west and northwest of Rossville. So if you are anywhere near there, you need to be seeking shelter now, as this storm not only is capable of producing a tornado, but it's also capable of producing some extremely large hail that is capable of severe injury if there's any sort of bodily contact, whether it be to yourself, to a pet, to a farm animal. If you are caught outside, you are going to be injured, if not sent to the hospital by this. We do have a new tornado warning here for the previously PDS tornado warning storm. It is a radar indicated tornado, so they are still saying that it is capable of producing a tornado. I believe they're seeing this little feature in here that might be giving them the confidence to continue this severe thunderstorm or this tornado warning. I don't blame them. It definitely looks like it could be trying to do something if you follow the shape of the storm. But realistically speaking, that is such a small area and it's right next to the radar. We're not going to be able to tell anything until it probably gets closer to Paxico. But that being said, if you are in McFarland, Paxico, Newbury, Maple Hill, you are okay. So this is actually a very bad situation. So allow me to explain why this is a very bad situation. So we have our forward tornado warning, correct? We have the one that is passing here by Rossville and Maple Hill. That is going to that's the first storm. So this storm kind of passed by Maple Hill, and it's now kind of moving off in its own direction. This storm is moving in the same direction. So we're getting a training tornado situation here. So if that's the case, then the people in Maple Hill are going to get, or they're basically under two tornado warnings at this point, which is never good because that means you're going to be staying in shelter for longer, and you now have a second chance for a tornado to strike. So we need to be very careful here. Looks like this couplet might be starting to develop here near Rossville. Let me check correlation coefficient just to make sure. I don't believe there's a tornado on the ground at this time. It's definitely trying something, though. It's trying. Okay, that is a quite significant hook that's developing a reflectivity as it's passing over Rossville. I still don't think there's a tornado on the ground. It definitely is trying to produce a tornado. I do wonder if these two storms are going to compete with each other and keep themselves from producing any more tornadoes. But that being said, they might still be far enough away to where they're able to get uninterrupted inflow. If that's the case, then there's a chance that both of these could have a tornado at the same time as they're being semi-discrete supercells. So we have two potentially tornadic supercells ongoing at this time, both near Topeka, Kansas. We also have near Kansas City, Missouri, a severe thunderstorm producing 3-inch hail that is observed to be falling out of the sky. So if you know anyone in the area, you need to make sure that they are being notified immediately. Stoll Medley, Rossville twins reported by Corey. That is not what we would need to hear. We do not need to hear about potential twin tornadoes. That being said, though, I am going to take this with a grain of salt. I'm not seeing any reports myself. I'm not seeing any potential significance. What am I trying to say? I'm not seeing any signs that there is a tornado on the ground. At least via radar. But definitely that is something that we're going to have to keep an eye out for. If there aren't twins, they're going to be here. I think it's more likely that we're going to get one dominant tornado here just north of Rossville, north of Route 24. So if we get anything, it's going to be there. That's what I believe. I could be wrong. I'm not a storm chaser. I'm not a storm spotter. So obviously I am sitting in the comfort of my own apartment. So I am not really able to see everything that's going on currently. But I am doing my best with what limited tools I have, that being my radar scope here on my PC. So, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, if you want to ask about the storm, if you want to ask about what's going on, do let us know. I do read the chat quite regularly, so if you want to let me know something's going on, or if you want to know what's going on with a different storm than what I'm focusing on at the moment, do let me know, and I will look at your suggestion, and I will give you some. Oh my God, Siri, shut up! And I will give you whatever analysis I can. Bear in mind, I am not a trained meteorologist. I studied chemical engineering throughout my college. But that is not to say that our other team members here at Advective Weather do not have that sort of training. In fact, many of them are currently studying meteorology. One of our team members, I believe, just accepted a position for a PhD out at the University of Hawaii. So there definitely is a lot of talent on our team. It's just a matter of getting there, and if they want to join up on the stream, they are more than happy. They're more than welcome to. I'm never one to force anything on anybody, so we'll see if they want to join. For right now, we have a confirmed tornado near just north of Rossville. Actually, as of just now, a confirmed tornado was located over Rossville, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. This is not PDS. It is just a confirmed tornado. So I'm going to guess it's this right here. That right there is probably our tornado. You can see a little bit of an increase in reflectivity here in the 60 dBz range. The couplet, while weak, it definitely is still present. So we'll see. We will see what happens here as this storm progresses. let's see here. New frame on velocity. Okay, velocity looks smeared out a bit. Um, so well, yeah, I can't really tell what's going on here. But we shall see once things get a little bit further along. In the meantime, my statement still stands. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, do let me know, and I will address them as I come up to them. Looks like we might also have a strong spin here near that Kansas City, Missouri storm. Yeah, that's still dropping some massive hail. I mean, yeah, we're getting the 70 DVZs here. We're getting that's 71.5. Yeah, that is not a storm you want to mess with. If you're near Kansas City, Independence, if you're north of those cities or near I-435, I-29, on the way to Kearney, you all need to be in shelter, regardless of whether or not you think a tornado is coming, because this thing is dropping 3-inch hail. That is going to put a dent in your head if it hits you. Okay, that is actually very bad. You see this right here? This all right, all right. That's probably just the hail core, if I'm going to guess, actually. I'm not going to say anything. I believe that's probably just the hail core. Um, but yeah, this storm definitely means business. It is producing a tornado at this time. So we will see what is going on. Excuse me. Okay, there's our hook. There's our hook. There it is. Okay. If there's a tornado still on the ground, it's going to be in there. That's where our tornado is going to be. 100%. If there is a tornado on the ground still, that is where it's going to be. It's going to be just north of Rossville. Let's see. Does this have an actual name? Does this road have a name? It does not. At least not one I can see. Um, but yeah, if you were anywhere north of Rossville or north, like in the Rossville suburbs, you need to be in shelter now. If you are I would even be in shelter if you're in Delia, because it looks like this thing is already trying to maybe start occluding. And if that's the case, it's going to be coming straight for you if you're in Delia. Let's see here. We do have an interesting feature developing here south of Paxico, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. We will have to see what that does. That's still producing 2-inch hail. Okay, yep, there it is. Wait. Before I say that with confidence, I think that could be our tornado right there. The CC signature doesn't really line up with velocity too well. The reflectivity looks like it might just be a reflectivity divot that's causing that CC drop. But if that is indeed the tornado, there's our debris ball right there. If that's the tornado, I cannot tell for sure if that is the tornado or not. If it is, that's our debris ball. So definitely something to keep a very close eye on as this thing continues off to the north and northeast. As it's passing by Rossville. Now let's have a look. See here. Let's see if these storms evolve over the course of the last hour or so. I believe I get about an hour's worth of radar. I get about an hour and a half. So yeah, you can see quite clearly if I scrub here. So you can see this here. This is the supercell that's currently producing a tornado, and the supercell that went PDS is down there currently in this radar frame. If I continue to advance forward, you can see that hook very well take shape. It even it initially forms as a separated hook as well. You can see that vortex hole down there. And then it ramps up very quickly as it passes by Alta Vista, and then it just absolutely goes insane. It was around here that it went PDS, as its debris signature went insane. It had a disconnected debris ball, so there was zero doubt that was a tornado on the ground. As it continued, it even got a more intense debris ball signature, shown right there on reflectivity. there's a hole on CC. There's a hole on velocity. Overall, it was basically the perfect looking radar presentation for a tornado. It weakened significantly. I believe it probably lifted probably right around here. The storm continued to exhibit that bound and weak echo region as the tornado, as the original tornado circulation dissipated. But now the NWS office out here is believing that that still has the potential to produce another tornado, and now we actually have weather spotters confirming that there is another tornado out in front. So this storm out here looks to be the dominant one. In fact, we might have a debris ball here. It's kind of circular in shape. However, back here on the original storm, I'm not too sure where a new tornado might be forming. Again, it is close to the radar, so it's very hard to tell. But somewhere in there could be a tornado. We just have to see. We're still getting some convergence here. Still getting, some areas of rotation. This is going to be whether or not I think this is probably where it's going to try to form, somewhere in this little appendage. If it forms, that's where it's going to be. But so that would put probably Paxico kind of out of in the clear. Maple Hill, you're going to be back under the gun though if that forms. But yeah, this thing near Rossville, if there's a tornado on the ground in here, it's going to be right in here. Well, even that doesn't really line up with the couplet though. See, this is the issue here. So this couplet looks like it's kind of split off into two sections here, right? So if this is the case, then this thing is going to either have one lobe kind of become dominant, as I to myself, I'll call them lobes. So basically there's two different concentrated areas of circulation. It all depends on whether or not one becomes dominant over the other. I'm putting my money on the southern one. So what I think is going to happen is that this is going to rotate around and then get choked off, whereas this one progresses off to the east-northeast and becomes dominant and then starts to really go on a tirade if it really gets its act going anyway. So we're going to have to watch that very closely over the next few minutes. There's our new tornado warning. A confirmed tornado was located near Rossville, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour, still also producing baseball-sized hail. So that thing is also, producing hail that is very much able to severely injure you if you are caught outdoors. So please make sure that you are inside if you are anywhere in this polygon. This does include, portions of northwestern Shawnee and south central Jackson counties. So if you are in those counties, then you need to be in shelter now. There is a confirmed tornado on the ground here, and it is currently moving kind of in this direction here. So Grove, you might be just a bit too far south to be affected by this storm, which is good. That's a very good thing. You don't want to be affected by a tornado. They are saying it's going to remain over mainly open rural farmland, which is going to be very good. So we just need to make sure that that stays the case. In other news, this one back here, nothing really happening yet on radar that I can tell, so I don't think that's producing a tornado yet. But definitely Maple Hill, you all need to be in shelter as well, because this thing is not going to slow down for you. It's not going to wait for you to go to shelter. You need to get there yourself. Now let's see here. Are there any other storms that have a tornado possible tag on them? That is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that there is a tornado, potential for a tornado somewhere outside of our current threat zone. So I'm just double checking, making sure there isn't. It doesn't appear like any of the National Weather Service offices are thinking there's going to be a tornado imminent. So I think we are good to go. Let's see here. Okay, allow me 1 second, chat. I'm just going to walk away from my desk for just a moment. I'm going to, I'm just going to go get a can of soda, just so I can keep myself hydrated a little bit. And then I'll be back to cover the rest of this hopefully short-term tornado outbreak. I'll be right back, chat. like I said, it was going to be a very quick break. I am back. I have a can of Sprite, so I'll be good to go there. Hopefully, it's okay to say that on stream. Anyway, it does look like the couplet is starting to intensify on that Rossville tornado, so we're going to have to watch that very closely. It looks like reflectivity is starting to really show something going on, so we're going to have to watch that also very closely. Let's have a look see here. So this is, so like I said, the southern couplet is the one I had money on surviving. It definitely looks like that's going to be the case here. Down south, this appendage is still extending south. But again, I'm not seeing anything in terms of a couplet trying to redevelop there. So I'm not too worried about that southern cell right now. It could be maybe spin up near Birmingham, near KC. You think near KC. Let us have a look see here. Breezestone near Birmingham. Let me have a look see. Yeah, this is a beefy supercell. I think I see what you mean here. I think I see the synergy that you're talking about. You're talking about this kind of broad couplet here. Looks like it may have been consolidated when it was closer to Randolph, so maybe. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, there's a chance. I mean, the supercell has a very strong updraft. So if it decided to have a lower level as a second one, I'm sure it could very easily drill to the surface. I'm not seeing it personally, but then again, it's very it was an if there was a spin up tornado there, it was a untornado warned tornado. It has a warning. It has a severe thunderstorm warning. It doesn't have tornado possible on it, so who knows? We'll see in post analysis, I'm sure. But thank you for pointing that out, Soul. I appreciate you. I'm just looking at this, like seeing how it's evolving. Okay, so it does look like couplet is weakening. It might try to recycle, but I don't see it staying strong for a little while here, so that's always good to see. Just currently looking over everything, trying to see if there's any sources that I can see. I don't believe there's anything else that is new anyway. Okay. Yeah, so let me have a look back to the west here, because we do have these storms as well. They need to be treated with respect. We have golf ball sized hail occurring on this storm southwest of Hayes. We have ping pong ball sized hail in the storm near Natoma. So this cluster back here definitely also warrants some watch as well. It just seems like they're a bit too far to the west to really get the best conditions. So we're just kind of watching these ones here as these two storms continue to march on to the east northeast. There was a extension to the severe thunderstorm warning out by Kansas City. It has been downgraded to a considerable. It's no longer a severe. It's no longer a destructive severe thunderstorm. It's a considerable one. It's still producing tennis-sized hail, 2.5 inches, which is absolutely still going to injure anything and anyone caught outside. There will be damage to property, no matter what, in the Kansas City area and anywhere to the east northeast. So it's going to be a time to clean up after that, I'm sure. But yeah, there's definitely these two storms back here near the Topeka, Kansas radar absolutely need to be watched with very close eyes. We have this appendage trying to do something here near Maple Hill. We then also have this wrap around here near Grove. So Grove, that signature looks a bit broad, so I can't really tell what's going on. There could be a tornado in there. It's too broad for me to call for certainty. I'm not seeing the classic couplet shape on velocity. Excuse me. So we will see what happens there. What's going on near Maple Hill, though, is that this storm has an appendage. I wouldn't really call it a hook because it's just kind of dangling there. It's kind of dangling beneath the storm. What I'm worried about is I'm worried about seeing it kind of kink up. When I see it kink up, that means it's wrapping, and wrapping means tornado. So as long as I don't see this get kinked up, then I think we're gonna be good. Grove got extended again. I don't blame them. I don't blame them for extending it. As of 2 minutes ago, a confirmed tornado was located 4 miles southeast of Delia, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. So, Delia, you are no longer in the polygon. However, I would still stay in shelter just because these cluster of storms are capable of producing baseball-sized hail. So, this is a radar confirmed tornado. It's no longer observed. It is a radar indicate. Okay. Correction. It's not a spotter confirmed. It's a radar confirmed. So there's a little bit more uncertainty as to whether or not it's on the ground. However, there's enough evidence for the National Weather Service office in Topeka to continue this as a radar confirmed tornado. There might be some storm spotters in the area that can confirm or deny that, but as of right now, it's best to treat it as if it is on the ground, regardless. So if you are in Grove, stay in shelter, especially if you're on the northwest side of town. If you are on the east side of Delia, remain in shelter. If you're in Hoyt, get to shelter. If you're anywhere in between Delia and Hoyt, you need to be in shelter very quickly. It might only be moving at about 20 miles per hour. But just to give you an example of distance here, if this thing were to make a beeline for Hoyt, it would be there in 30 minutes. And it is currently located approximately, let me get the measurement tool out again, about 2.5 miles northwest of Grove. So if we extrapolate that out, it'll pass due north of Grove in about maybe 10 minutes. So yeah, it's not worth waiting for. It's not worth letting it come to you. You just need to get to shelter. And yeah, Maple Hill, you need to be in shelter now. I won't call this a tornado, but that's definitely worrying. So you can see here on this frame, you can kind of a little bit. So it looks like it's kind of flared out, and then it goes, right? It kind of has that kink in it. It's a very small one, but it's got a little kink. Now here, it's kind of shortened, but it now is fully encircled. So Maple Hill, there might be a tornado forming near you. It's very hard to tell whether or not it actually is, but I would treat it as if there is a tornado forming near you, Maple Hill. So, unfortunately for you, you are now under the gun from a potential second tornado. Never mind. Okay. These two storms are still encompassed within a destructive severe thunderstorm warning that is 10 minutes old for Delia, St. Mary's, and Mayetta. So if you are in those towns, you need to be in shelter pretty much immediately. The Grove storm, thankfully, looks like it's being outflow dominant, or it's getting outflow dominant. So the circulation doesn't appear to be as constricted as tight. So that'll hopefully help to kill off that storm pretty quickly. We will see. My lord, though. But let's have a look, see what's going up near Doniphan. That's a considerable severe thunderstorm for golf ball sized hail. Way up north, that cluster of storms up there, also golf ball sized hail. Out by Hayes, Kansas, also considerable golf ball sized hail. A little further to the northeast, to the east of Plainville, we have ping pong ball sized hail. Okay, we have a new mesoscale discussion out. Let me see if I can't pull it up. Mesoscale discussion. I believe it'd be this one. Yes. Severe storms associated with large hail, wind damage, and perhaps a tornado or two will continue across parts of northeast Kansas and northwest Missouri. Hailstones over 2 inches in diameter could occur with the more intense cores. Let's see. There are several intense supercells located near an east-west warm front. These are likely producing large to very large hail. Environment in this in these areas has CAPE around 1,500 joules per kilogram, 40 to 50 knots of 0 to 6 shear, and 8 degrees Celsius per kilometer lapse rates between the 700 and 500 millibar levels. So according to them, this continues to support large hail. Let's see here. Low level shear has markedly increased over the last couple hours. It's a low level dry to strengthen with 0 to 3 storm relative helicity, approaching 350 units. This should continue to support a tornado threat with more dominant supercells, although a stabilizing boundary layer will lessen the tornado threat with time. Wind damage will also be possible. So, saying over time the tornado threat should diminish as the boundary layer kind of stabilizes a little bit. So that's good news. But that will be replaced with hail. So this entire area needs to be on guard because even though tornado warnings might not fly for too much longer, hailstones will absolutely be still being driven at pretty strong speeds. You know, at near hurricane force, I'm willing to bet. A lot of these storms are producing 60-mile-an-hour winds along with their hail. So, for example, this one here, this storm that kind of fired off behind our tornado warning storms, it is producing 3-inch hail. It's now a destructive severe thunderstorm. But it's for I-70 between Junction City and McFarland. So if you are, let's see here, where's McFarland? I lost it. I know where it is. It's over here somewhere. Oh wow, it's this long stretch. Okay, so basically they're saying from Junction City to McFarland, this entire section of I-70 is under the threat for 3-inch hail. So if you know anyone along I-70, you need to make sure that they are getting shelter now. Let's see here what's going on back west. Ping pong balls. Okay. Let me have a look-see here. Let me look through some other areas. Let me see if there is any new information. Let's have a look-see. Okay. So they have allowed the Maple Hill. They've allowed our first storm, the PDS here, the PDS tornado warning. That storm has been allowed to have its tornado warning expire. So that's good. They have allowed that one to expire. They have not reissued another tornado warning. So overall, that is looking like that threat is more or less over. It could very well recycle though. So Maple Hill, Rossville, Willard, you all need to remain in shelter. New business scale. Yes, I just read it off, Soul. Thank you for reminding me. Don't worry, I got your back. I got your back, Soul. Thank you for letting me know though. Let's see. The Grove storm has been downgraded to just a radar indicated rotation. It is not a confirmed tornado on the ground anymore. So I'm actually going to turn on spotter reports. Let's see what pops up with spotter reports. Are there any? Okay. Oh, I zoomed out too far. Oh no. Okay. So yeah, tornado, hail, rotation, tornado, rotation, hail. Let's see, hail, hail, hail. Okay. So I'm not seeing any reports of spotters saying that the hail is going crazy with these storms. But that's not to say that the threat isn't there. So bear that in mind. Even though spotters might not be able to report right now, or they just haven't been reporting, that is not to say that these storms are not capable of producing some very significant hail and potentially straight line winds. So yes, if you, as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the event, do let me know, and I will try to get to you as soon as I can. Hmm. Just having a look. See, I'm looking around at some of these other storms and trying to see if I need to skew my focus. Um, I do think I'm probably gonna stay on the air for a little while longer. Um, I'm not sure how long because we don't have our PDS anymore, but we will see. Yes, if no other tornado warnings go out, if no other confirmed tornadoes are reported, I'll probably be ending the stream here in about 15 minutes. Just because I kind of have my own plans I want to go forward with. Um, and it seems like the tornado threat will hopefully reduce with time from here on out. There is still the chance for the rest of the evening. There is still a chance. Um, we just need to keep an eye on things as it goes on. We have 4-inch hail in diameter now. Sorry. We have a 4-inch hail producer here, back by Manhattan, Kansas, along I-70. So McFarland, Alma, Newbury, you might have just been grazed by a tornado, but guess what? You have 4-inch hail on the way. So 4-inch hail, that is some of the largest hail that I have seen in a warning. I have seen 4.5 inches of hail before. I have not seen anything larger than that yet. I hope that I don't tonight, but unfortunately, it looks like the atmosphere is capable of producing that. So we're going to have to make sure that that does not get any stronger. I'm going to have a look out here in Illinois. There is this wayward severe thunderstorm near Marshall. Okay, golf ball sized hail. Yeah, okay, it's a very small storm, very isolated, but it's so far removed from the prime conditions that's not going to be a problem. Okay. I just had to satisfy my curiosity there. But yes, so we have a tornado warned storm to the northeast of Grove. That's likely going to be either continued or canceled, as a radar indicated. This storm, however, that's passing by Manhattan to the south is absolutely a force to be reckoned with as well. 4-inch hail is nothing to brush off. That is a very serious situation. There's a reason why it is a destructive severe thunderstorm. So please, oh, I closed it out. Just please make sure that you are getting shelter ASAP so that you don't have to worry about. And, oh, I'm still okay. Just make sure that you don't have to worry about the hail, hitting you directly. It's very, very useful to remain in shelter at this time. Do. Yes, I am thankful that the PDS has gone away though. PDS tornado definitely did not it didn't survive for that long, which is good. It was definitely a big tornado though. It was 100% a big tornado. Let me see here. I'm just looking through, trying to get as much information as I can. Doesn't look like anything else is going on tornado-wise. The big threat right now is the hail, especially from this storm here. It would not surprise me if this storm continues to intensify. So we'll see whether or not that gets upgraded even further. I mean, we do have a few 70 DBZ pixels in here, so. Excuse me. Yeah, 73 dBz is going to be pretty big hail, especially along with SCC. Yeah, yeah, the storm is absolutely producing some pretty sizable hail. Um, I don't think the Grove Cell is going to be able to do it again unless it does it. But by the time it gets to Hoyt, um, but yeah, the rest of these storms, I think they're all just going to be hailers for the remainder of the night. Oh, went way too far. Um, there could be some tornadoes, but hopefully the strength will be muted somewhat from the storm kind of getting into lesser optimal conditions. So let's see. This tornado warning is set to expire at 9:15 p.m. Central Daylight. So yeah, when this tornado warning expires, I think that's where I'm going to cut the stream. I will allow some other members of Advective Weather to take over in the case that something else major happens. Just make sure that you also bear in mind that there is a 4-inch hail producer just behind. So Alma, Newbury, I would honestly get back in your safe place if you've recently come out of your safe area. 4-inch hail is absolutely capable of producing some rather significant bodily harm if it hits you. So do make sure. Okay, they issued a new tornado warning, tornado and baseball-sized hail. Radar indicated 2 3/4 inch hail. So, all right, I guess I got to stay in the air for a little while longer because they have issued a new tornado warning. So I will be here for until the bottom of the hour. It looks like now is going to be the new estimated time at which I cut the stream. So we will see. But for right now, I think we're in kind of like a lull in the action. I don't believe that we really have to worry about too much. So it's just a matter of making sure that these storms don't go as crazy as they can. But yes, as always, comments, questions, concerns, even just generic chit chat. If you keep the chat moving, that means that we're doing something right. That means we're engaging. So, by all means, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to interact with you, and I'm here to make sure that you know what's going on as much as I do as I watch the radar. Kansas City, so I'm like rotating again. I mean, it is a supercell, so it's going to rotate at least a little bit. Yeah, I can see that down by Auric a little bit, right in here, I believe, is where you're seeing that. Yeah, kind of embedded within this larger circulation, so there's a chance. There's a chance that could do something. I'm not seeing it right now, but it could. It could. We'll see if that gets a tornado warning or a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. It has been downgraded to golf ball size hail, so that's good. Okay. Let's have a look back here. Are any of these considerable? We have a 2-inch hailer near Hayes, Kansas. So that looks off Dodge City. Yeah, I can see it there. Okay. There's also a very strong upper level as a cyclone here on this storm here, so that's also something to bear in mind. Let's see. We do have observed hail on this storm near the Illinois Indiana border. That's another thing to watch. There was a severe thunderstorm warning down south in Oklahoma. Excuse me. But that seems to have expired by now. So we are good to go there. Now it's just a matter of watching these storms here as they continue on their trek. Yeah, okay, so it does look like a hook is trying to redevelop near Hoyt. So there could be an issue. Could very well be a bit of an issue. We will see. It is confirmed. Yep. Damaging tornado, baseball-sized hail. It is confirmed moving northeast 20 miles per hour, located near Hoyt. Hoyt, get to your safe place now. This is not a time to wait. It is basically on your doorstep. The tornado is going to be right in here. This here looks to be the anticyclonic dipole. So right in here, there was a surge of outflows, and then we got the inflows coming in here. Got some inflows coming in here. This one's going to die out over, south of Hoyt. This circulation north of Hoyt is what's going to continue. So please make sure that you get to shelter now. There is a tornado on the ground here. It is observed by weather spotters. So radar might not be showing it, but there is indeed a tornado on the ground here. Make sure you get in shelter now. We also have a little bit of a little dangly dude trying to pop on the softball sized hailstorm as well. So that's gonna need to be watched very closely as well. So we might actually have a little bit of action still going on here toward the end of this, toward about an hour and a half into the stream. So definitely something to watch over the next few minutes as these storms continue to develop and evolve while they ride along and near the warm front. Let me see here. I'm just going to double check some areas. Okay. So yeah, radar still isn't showing much, which is good. You don't want radar to show anything because if it shows in radar, that means it's 100% there. Especially since we have the ooh boy, that's a hook near Hoyt. Yep, Hoyt. If you are in Hoyt, if you are northwest of Hoyt, if you are in Hoyt, you need to be in shelter now. Especially near the intersections of 75 and 214, you need to be in shelter now. This is definitely a situation that you never want to see yourself in, but there is a tornado basically on your doorstep if you are in Hoyt. So if you are along Route 75, you are just east of where the circulation is, but that's not going to be the case for very much longer as it is currently moving in your direction. So make sure that you are getting to your safe place now if you are in Hoyt. There's not much time left. You probably only have a couple minutes to get to a safe place. That being the interior room of a sturdy building. Far away from windows, there could be a bathroom, a bedroom, a closet, with something over your head to protect yourself from falling debris. Especially if you're in a one-story building, it'll also help in case the building collapses on top of you. That'll keep some of the debris. It'll kind of help spread the weight of the debris on top of you, which will help you to survive, which is exactly what you want to do in this situation. You don't want to become a number. You want to be able to walk out of here with only minor scrapes and bruises. So do make sure that you are staying safe in the situation. There are plenty of safe spaces you can get to. You just need to make sure you get to the one that is most accessible to you. Ugh. Let me see. Did the SBC issue the new Outlook yet? I don't know if they did. They already issued their 1Z Outlook. Okay. This was issued, wow, 2 hours ago. And I'm not used to Pacific time. I currently live in California, so I'm not used to Pacific time yet. But yeah, so 2 hours ago is when all this changed over. Okay. They still set at 5%, and it looks like the 5% kind of very well verified. I can actually check and see whether or not verified. If I can switch to the tornado outline, there we go. That brown outline you see, that's the 5% tornado risk. And we had our tornadoes kind of down in this area. So yeah, 5% absolutely verified. They nailed the forecast. Good job, SBC. All right. The 4-inch hailer is now down to 3 inches, but that's still a very serious situation. Hoyt, you still have a tornado that is spinning very close to your city. So please make sure that you are in shelter if you aren't already, if you are anywhere near this area. Let's see here. I'm just looking through some other sources. I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss anything. Okay, I don't think I'm missing anything. That's good. Okay. So let's check on the Kansas City storm because I know that we have seen a little bit of a rotation on it. So let's make sure. Ooh, boy, actually, is that a bona fide B-word or is that just the way the info and outflow interacted? Let's see. Um, okay, so that's definitely a little worrying near Auric. Um, Interesting. Let me go ahead and actually, I'm just going to very quickly do this and post this in a different server. Um, okay. All right. Ooh, boy, the upper level cyclone is actually going kind of crazy. Let's get back to KTWX. Okay. Yes, so chat, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about this storm, about the way this evolved, do let me know. I am here to answer your questions and not just, and obviously, I can't, this isn't really about entertaining, this is about informing. So I am here to inform you about what is going on. Let's see here. All right. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, if there is a tornado on the ground near Hoyt, it is very, very broad. Um, Alma, this storm here, it is approaching you from the west. I would take great care in getting to shelter. Same if you're in Wabanisi or Wabansi. Wabansi. It's Wabansi. Oh my god, I cannot believe I said that. Oh, that is not what I meant to say. That is not what I meant to say. Oh my god, that was so bad. Anyway. Um anyway, let me see here. Gonna continue to monitor things 1 second here. Um, okay. So, let's see here. This is still okay. Radar indicated good. They say that it is lifted. So weather spotters do not confirm there is a tornado on the ground, and the radar is not giving any indication that there is a tornado on the ground. So it has finally. So it is lifted. So that is good to know. This is still producing 3-inch hail on the backside near Alma. So yeah, I think these storms are going to be the main story for the rest of the night here, until they get to a point where they are going to be undercut by that stabilizing boundary layer that the SPC mentioned. Until then, I don't think we're going to be seeing much in terms of additional activity, unless those storms can get their act back together. All right, I'm going to go mic for 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. We're back. All right. So radar indicated rotation. No tornado on the ground near Hoyt anymore. That is always good to see. Um, yeah, Alma definitely needs to be mindful of what is coming because that is a pretty gnarly looking little appendage there. It's not rotating. It's not trying to come around. It's just kind of dangling. So until that starts to wrap around, I'm not going to be too worried about it. But definitely the hail threat is going to be something that is very much present as it continues. It does look like most of the activity has died down, thankfully. Hoyt doesn't look like it's going to be recycling anytime soon. Um, Unfortunately, the 3-inch hailer is too close to the radar for us to really tell what's going on anymore. So we're gonna have to play that by ear. But thankfully, it does look like most of the activity is starting to die down a little bit. I'm just looking here, trying to see if anybody else is noticing anything that I'm not. Um, okay. Actually, that's interesting. That's an interesting feature. If that's a bona fide new circulation trying to develop, that's going to be very worrying to see because that's going to be traveling over the same area that the original tornado was going. So if this goes to the east, then Hoyt's going to need to stay in shelter. I mean, Hoyt, you need to stay in shelter anyway. Um, yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what this storm does as it continues to progress. I'm just glad that the supercells decided to get a little messy as they continue to move off to the north, to the east northeast and northeast. So I'm just waiting to see what they do with this tornado warning. That'll determine what we do for the rest of this live. But if you have any interesting observations as you're watching this severe weather outbreak with me, do let me know so I can investigate them myself and also give my 2 cents on what I believe is going on. Wow. Yeah, you can see pretty clearly everything is moving along a line here to the northeast, and now everything is starting to shift off in a more easterly direction. So, okay, so that's interesting to see. The storms come up, and then they get surface based, and all of a sudden they shoot east. So cool. I do enjoy seeing large scale storm motion like this. It's very very satisfying to me. Let's see. We're getting 2.5 inch hail, 6 mile an hour winds out of these supercells as they continue off to the east northeast. But right now, I don't see any signs of them extending the tornado warning for this Grove cell, or this Hoyt cell, rather. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, unless this decides to go tornadic, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to increase the duration of this tornado warning. They don't even list a tornado possible on this, so I think they're probably going to let it expire. We'll just have to wait and see what they do with this. And there it is. They didn't even allow it to get to the end of its time. They just canceled the tornado warning. Good. All right, chat. So I will go to the bottom of the hour unless I see another tornado warning pop up. I don't think there will be. Our 3-incher has gone down to 2.5 inches, so that is a bonus as well. So we don't have to worry about that. But all right. I do think that, at least in the very short term, it looks like tornado threat has diminished quite substantially. Longer term, I think these two storms here are probably going to be the talks of the hour, if you will. Perhaps the one that passed by Kansas City might also need to be watched for a while, but I just don't see it going anytime soon. Yes, chat. If you have any last minute comments, questions, or concerns, do let me know in the chat so I can address them as well, address them expeditiously. Because I am probably gonna be ending the stream here at the bottom of the hour. Just that way we don't kind of ramble on about nothing really going on. There is still threat for very large hail, for very strong winds. Just as of now, the threat for rapidly changing weather conditions has kind of dropped a little bit. Still along I-70, if you are anywhere near and north of I-70, you need to watch this supercell that's passing south of Waubonsee. Just because it is still producing some very large hail. It probably will continue to do so as it continues, since it is getting unimpeded inflow from basically all sides. So if it wants to, it can very easily keep this hail threat going. It could even possibly go for tornadoes. So just keep an eye on that as it progresses off to the east-northeast for the remainder of the evening. Same goes for the cell near Hoyt. It might try to do something down here. It's very hard to tell. This circulation near Mayetta may continue to spin, and it might even produce another tornado as it passes by Denison. Denison or Valley Falls, rather. But in the meantime, I do believe that this is going to terminate this stream. I appreciate everybody who came by to watch this with us, to become informed on the previously PDS tornado. I do hope that you all learned something. I hope that you all enjoyed what you saw, and I hope that we can continue to reach out to you guys as the severe weather outbreak continues over the next day or so. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you around. Take care.